Hey everyone, Mac is back. We're going to continue with the Commander series today, and we're going to do 3 commanders again and continue with that until we've completed all the commanders, and I'll go through even the ones that weren't that I don't have unlocked, and some of the bigger commanders as well, the best 5, and go from there. So let's get to it. Today we're going to start with Sheila. And as for the rebel leaders, she is one of the better ones for the rebel leaders, and the reason she is because she has a very high base damage. She attacks a single target. She's a single attack target commander, which obviously in a rebel leader situation, there's only one enemy to fight. She has this nuke ability of almost 13,000. Plus, she already adds on another 4,000 passive damage, passive attack damage. So she does even more, up to over 12,000 damage for her base stats. She has a passive stun ability of 2 seconds that comes off every 7 attacks. So that's a nice little, if you can keep her alive enough for her to get 7 attacks off, then she'll do a 2-second stun to the target, which is nice as well. And then she also adds attack for 6 seconds, triggering every 15 seconds. So that's always very nice too. And when it comes to her, the army, or using him in your army, if you're a bow commander, that's where you're going to use her because she has the bowman attack. But other than that, you're not going to use her very much. As it comes to awakening, same type of thing. If you look in her hidden abilities, she has some extra bow attack in there as well, plus some other stuff that you don't really use. And then if you look at her 4-star ability, so this applies immediately when you own the commander. The upkeep consumption rate is reduced by 50%, and the bowman attack by 25%. So very, very good for bowman, because you're talking about a 25% 4-star ability. You're talking a hidden ability that has attack as well, and then you're also talking about the specialization here is another 30%, which would be about 48, 58, probably 64, 74, 84. I mean, you're talking like a 90% bow attack just with her, and she takes elite tokens too. She's free to play, so that's a very nice thing to have there as well. Let's go to the tavern. In the tavern, she does have combat rates. You're going to want to get her to at least 2 stars, and beyond that, for any other non-bow player, 2 stars is all you really need to get her to. If you get her any further than that, it's really not worth it. You can see as I've increased her for up to 51 so far, you'll want to go a little bit higher. You want to keep going high as you can with that. She does take dessert, which is one of the sought-after items in this for the tavern. So you kind of have to be delicate about where you're going to allocate your desserts. For the training grounds, she is very good as well. She's one of those staples in there. If you give a female commander or a ranged commander or any bow commander blessings in the training grounds, you're going to want her in your lineup. She, like I said before, about the same thing kind of with the rebel leaders, very similar. She does that very good base damage. One of the better things is she get that passive 2-second stun is what you really, really like. The base damage is obviously really good too when they reduce the amount of times you can get the skills off. But then when they do get skills off, she does 12,000 damage as well, so that's really, really good. And then just evaluating her skills overall, we talked about the Wild Hunt nuke here. It's very good. The No Lady here, which adds attack for 6 seconds and triggers once every 15 seconds. That's not bad. It takes obviously 6 seconds, and it triggers once every 15. So every 15 takes a little while. And then adding the 2-second stun, the passive one, I told you that is definitely something that's advantageous to her. And then obviously a base attack to be able to be increased almost 12,000 damage. So that's a nice addition to her gameplay. Next, we're going to talk about Patelo. He is Spear Commander, and as for the rebel leaders, he is actually not really that good when it comes to the rebel leaders. He's considered a tank, so defense. I have him gold, and he's at 57,000 health, which isn't too bad. He's got a good defense, but he just doesn't do enough damage. He does his 5,000 base attack, so until he gets awakened, that's not really going to help too much. And then a single target, he attacks 6 times, dealing another 12, 13,000 damage he's going to do, and it has a 40% chance to reduce the health effect by 79% for 10 seconds. It's just not, these skills are not that good. I mean, obviously the defense is really good, so you're talking 14,000, 15,000 defense, which is actually quite significant for someone who's not awakened, but it's not really that good at all. When it comes to your army, if you're running anything infantry spear or spear infantry, this is one commander that you're going to want in that lineup, most likely. And I say most likely because he's not awakened yet. You're going to want awakened commanders in your army because of the army buffs, the army buff that they give them, the army size buff, and he obviously doesn't do that. But he'll give you 40% spear and infantry attack, plus he'll help your front line no matter which line, and no matter if you're infantry or spear. So he is very good in that respect. As it comes for awakening, he's not awakened yet, so we don't know what his skills are, so I can't even try to anticipate anything like that. And then we go to the tavern, and here in the tavern you can see he actually has the two best ones that you want for combat rate and leadership, so you're definitely going to want to increase him as much as you can, and he takes weapons to increase this, which there aren't a ton of really good weapon commanders. There are a few. There's probably maybe a handful of them, if I can, off the top of my head, like Arya and Robb Stark are both two that obviously you're going to be getting those two increased in the tavern right away, so they should already be up there. By the time you get Patelo, you'll actually get you can start working on him as well. You can see I'm at 52, so I'm going to keep going as much as I can. As for the training grounds, you're still looking at something that's not worth it. It's very similar to a rebel leader. The difference of training grounds, obviously, there are six. You're facing 6 commanders instead of just a single one, and this one here, it's just not very good. Overall. I mean, you're talking, looking at the skills, you're talking about that. Like I said, 13,000 attack. Could tank a little bit, I guess, if you wanted to. There's no stun ability here. Shields all allies at the start of the battle, reducing skill damage taken by 32% for 15 seconds. So that's not too bad, because sometimes the competitions in the training grounds don't last very long because they just so much damage being done. So 32% reduction of skill damage is actually pretty good. For every 3 attacks, reduces 300 strategy points and skill effect for any 2 units in the back row for 10 seconds. So that could actually be decent, for if they have like Marge and Simon in the back, it could reduce their skill effect, if it would target both of them. So that's not too bad. The defense is extremely high, so he could actually take a lot of damage, which isn't too bad. But overall, I'm not. I've tried him in there a couple times in a couple of different formations, and I haven't been very successful. There needs to be some type of stun or heal or something that keeps him alive more, so you're does some really good damage as well as defense. And 5,000 damage, less than 5,000 damage per attack is not really that good. And last but not least, we're going to talk about Kevin. And Kevin was actually one of those guys, these commanders in the very beginning of the game that was really good, that everybody was trying to upgrade as quickly as they can, and they wanted to do that just because of his total attack and total health, plus his camp training speed. So I'm actually kind of surprised that they haven't awakened him, one of the first ones to awaken, just because he's been kind of a staple in the game overall. When it comes to rebel leaders, Kevin's not very good. Kevin's not going to really do a whole lot here. He does have that 2-second stun, but he deals 4,000 damage for his ability, and his other ones are damage reduction, adds to defense and control resilience, and then some more defense. So overall, they've kind of moved away from Kevin being any type of help there for sure. As for him helping him in the army and PvP, not really that good anymore either, because he's not awakened. Maybe when he gets awakened, well, actually when he gets awakened, he'll have that, he'll have a nice little total attack buff and total health buff, and I'm sure his passives will be similar to that as well. So he actually could be very viable if these get up to, like, say, get into three stars and say 40% attack and total health, which would be good. And then of course the camp training speed would just be kind of a bonus on top of that. So obviously for awakening, he's not awakened yet, so we don't know what that's going to be. As for the tavern, he does again have both combat and leadership. Not a whole lot, only 3 stars, but still, you know, when you're talking 6 stars of what the stuff that you're trying to get in here, plus adding command a little bit, like I said, that's the other one that you're going to want as well. So that's again why you wanted Kevin when they opened up the tavern too. He does take books, and there are a lot of commanders basically that want to have books. So he's gonna have, but you're gonna, you know, once you start the game, and if you start, paying to upgrade Kevin, then you're gonna be, you'll be in good shape in the tavern, and helping your army as well. And as for the training grounds, having his, 2-second stun ability is actually not too bad. When it comes to the training grounds, he has, 50,000 health. His base defense is 10,000. Plus he has an extra 2,200 already added on to that, so 12,000 defense is good. His overall attack is almost 5,500, so that's not too bad for a tank as well, because sometimes a tank really don't have a whole lot of damage. The problem is he's just, you're almost better off having Rob in here because of his 5-second stun, and Rob's awakened, so his abilities have increased since then. There always was the understanding that Kevin was better than Rob overall when they both were just at gold, but now that that Rob is awakened, Rob has the better, the better advantage, especially in the training grounds. As for his skills, the 2-second stun is good. You always, any kind of stun. 1 second is really, kind of a blah thing, but 2 seconds is actually, can help you because you can get an attack or two off in that time. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage with that though, so that's not very good. And then you're talking damage reduction. Okay, that's not very good for him. And then you have some defense, control resilience, and the defense we talked about before. Not really good. So overall, when it comes to Kevin's skills, he's kind of been reduced until he gets awakened, and maybe there is some better skills that'll be out there. Maybe his awakening skill will actually be kind of OP. So we'll kind of see how that goes. And until next time, Mac out.